Hello, Army. Welcome back to Taekook Update Channel. People thought the concert had already reached its peak until Taehyung and Jungkook suddenly appeared on stage. The entire stadium instantly exploded. More than 30,000 fans inside were screaming so loudly that the music almost disappeared under the crowd noise. But what shocked everyone even more was what happened outside. Over 70,000 fans were reportedly gathered around the stadium, just hoping to see Taekook for a few seconds. Streets in Mexico were completely packed, and videos of the crowd started spreading everywhere online within minutes. Even the media couldn't stop talking about how unreal this final D3 concert looked. The lights, the chants, the energy, it didn't feel like an ordinary performance anymore. It felt like history was happening in real time. And then, during one emotional moment between Taehyung and Jungkook, the entire crowd suddenly became even louder. That single moment is now making fans around the world completely lose their minds. The atmosphere inside the stadium kept growing louder with every second, as if nobody wanted the night to end. From the very beginning of the performance, the energy already felt different compared to previous concerts. But once Taehyung and Jungkook walked toward the center stage together, something inside the venue completely changed. Fans immediately stood up. Phones were raised into the air at the same time, and thousands of voices merged into one overwhelming wave of screams that echoed across the entire stadium in Mexico. What made the night even more unbelievable was the fact that the excitement was no longer limited to the people who managed to enter the venue. Reports from local media and videos shared online showed massive crowds surrounding the stadium from every direction. Streets were filled with fans trying to catch even the faintest sound coming from inside. Some had reportedly waited for hours without moving, while others climbed onto nearby areas just to see the stage lights from a distance. By the time the concert reached its peak, the area outside had already turned into a second festival of its own. The scale of the crowd was enormous, but the moment that truly changed everything came later in the performance. As the lights dimmed across the stadium, the atmosphere suddenly shifted into something more emotional. The loud excitement transformed into anticipation, and for a few seconds, the entire venue felt frozen. Fans could sense that something unforgettable was about to happen. Then Taehyung appeared under the spotlight first, followed moments later by Jungkook walking slowly toward the main stage. The reaction from the crowd became immediate chaos. People screamed, cried, and held onto each other as if they were witnessing the final scene of a movie they never wanted to end. What shocked many viewers online was the way the two seemed completely locked into the moment. Cameras captured countless emotional reactions from the audience as Taehyung and Jungkook continued performing under waves of flashing lights and deafening chants. Every movement instantly became a trending clip. Every glance between them was replayed repeatedly across social media platforms within minutes. The stadium itself almost seemed unable to contain the noise anymore. Several videos recorded from outside showed that even people far from the venue could hear the screams clearly through the streets. Local residents reportedly stopped to watch the massive crowds gathering around the area, while media helicopters captured aerial footage showing how enormous the situation had become. Many online users began calling it one of the most insane BTS concert moments ever witnessed in Mexico. The emotional intensity only continued rising as the performance moved closer toward its final stage. Fans started singing together even during instrumental moments, creating an atmosphere that many described as overwhelming. Some audience members were visibly crying while recording the stage, fully aware that they were experiencing something they might never see again in the same way. Meanwhile, online discussions exploded even faster after rumors spread that important public figures, including officials connected to Mexico's leadership, had attended or closely followed the event because of how historic the night had become. That detail alone pushed even more attention toward the concert, turning the performance into headline news beyond the music industry itself. But despite the scale, the lights, and the massive production, what people continued talking about the most was the energy between Taehyung and Jungkook. Throughout the night, fans noticed every detail, every expression, every moment captured by cameras from different angles. Clips of the two instantly dominated fan pages, trending hashtags, and recommendation feeds worldwide. As the final part of the concert approached, The atmosphere inside the stadium became almost impossible to describe. Nobody wanted the music to stop. Nobody wanted the lights to disappear. Fans screamed louder after every song, trying to hold on to the moment for as long as possible. Even after performances ended, huge sections of the crowd reportedly stayed in place, continuing to chant BTS long after the stage lights faded. Outside the stadium, thousands were still waiting, many refusing to leave despite the concert already being over. Some fans continued singing together in the streets, while others replayed clips they had recorded from giant screens and distant views of the venue. The emotion surrounding the entire night slowly turned into something bigger than just entertainment. By the next morning, videos from Mexico D3 had already spread across every major platform. Millions of views appeared within hours. International fans who could not attend began calling it one of the most emotional and chaotic BTS nights ever seen. Others claimed the atmosphere felt more like the ending of an era than a normal concert. And as more unseen clips continue appearing online, many fans are now convinced that one particular moment between Taehyung and Jungkook during the concert still has not been fully explained. That brief moment is now becoming the center of endless discussions everywhere, with viewers replaying the footage repeatedly, trying to understand why the entire crowd suddenly reacted the way they did. As the footage from Mexico D3 continued spreading across the internet, fans began noticing details that were almost impossible to catch during the live performance itself. New camera angles started appearing from different sections of the stadium, revealing reactions from the audience that made the entire night feel even more intense than people originally thought. One particular clip quickly became the center of attention. The video showed the exact moment Taehyung walked toward the extended stage while Jungkook remained standing under the lights for a few extra seconds. At first, nothing seemed unusual. The crowd was already screaming nonstop throughout the performance. But suddenly, the noise inside the stadium changed completely. Thousands of fans reacted at the exact same moment, as if everyone had witnessed something unexpected at once. Within minutes, the clip exploded across fan communities worldwide. People immediately started replaying the footage repeatedly, slowing down every movement frame by frame, trying to understand what had caused such an extreme reaction from the audience. Some believed it was simply the emotional atmosphere of the final concert in Mexico. Others insisted there was a specific moment between Taehyung and Jungkook that cameras almost missed entirely. That uncertainty only made the discussion even bigger. As debates spread online, the concert itself continued gaining attention from international media. News pages and entertainment accounts began reposting aerial shots of the stadium surrounded by massive crowds stretching far beyond the venue area. Many viewers who had never followed BTS before were shocked by the scale of what happened in Mexico that night. Some compared the atmosphere to a global event rather than a concert, pointing out how entire streets were filled with fans long after the show ended. What made everything even more emotional was the condition of the audience during the final songs. Videos from inside the stadium showed countless fans crying openly while singing along. Some could barely hold their phones steady because of how overwhelming the atmosphere had become. Others were seen hugging strangers beside them as the music echoed through the venue one last time. The emotional energy inside the stadium felt almost impossible to control. But even after the lights faded, nobody truly left emotionally. Fans outside the venue continued chanting BTS deep into the night, creating scenes that local residents described as unforgettable. Some people remained near the stadium simply hoping for one final glimpse of the members before they departed. Others stayed because they did not want the feeling of the night to end. Then another detail suddenly pushed the entire story even further. Several videos recorded near the stadium exits appeared online, showing how intense the situation became once the concert officially finished. Security teams were reportedly struggling to manage the enormous movement of fans surrounding the area. The streets became louder again as people reacted to every possible sighting connected to the members leaving the venue. And once Taehyung and Jungkook were seen again briefly after the performance, the reaction from nearby fans became immediate chaos. Phones instantly went up into the air. People began running closer toward barriers just to record a few seconds of footage. Even fans watching online could hear the screams clearly through shaky videos uploaded seconds later. the emotional intensity surrounding the two had somehow become even stronger after the concert ended. What surprised many people most was how exhausted yet emotional the members themselves appeared throughout the night. Fans noticed subtle expressions during certain moments on stage that made the final performances feel deeply personal. Some viewers later described the atmosphere as bittersweet, almost as if everyone inside the stadium understood they were witnessing a moment that would remain unforgettable for years. Meanwhile, hashtags connected to Mexico D3 continued climbing worldwide throughout the following day. Millions of interactions flooded social media as new clips kept surfacing from different angles. Some videos focused on the overwhelming crowd outside the stadium, while others highlighted the deafening chants that shook the venue every time Taehyung or Jungkook appeared on screen. But among all the viral moments, one thing continued standing out the most. Fans could not stop talking about how different Taehyung and Jungkook's energy felt during this particular concert. Every interaction between them instantly became headline material inside fan communities. Even the smallest moments created massive reactions online. The mystery surrounding that now viral moment near the final stage only intensified the obsession further. Some fans claimed the emotional atmosphere changed completely after it happened. Others believed the crowd reaction itself proved that something unexpected had taken place live in front of tens of thousands of people. And now, as more unreleased footage from Mexico D3 continues surfacing online, viewers are beginning to notice another detail hidden within the final minutes of the concert, a detail many completely missed the first time because the stadium noise was simply too loud to hear anything clearly. As more fans continue analyzing every newly surfaced clip, attention is now shifting toward the final hidden detail that many believe could explain why the crowd reacted so intensely in that now viral moment. Several slowed-down videos from different angles appear to capture subtle movements and expressions that were impossible to notice during the live performance. What originally looked like an ordinary transition between songs is now being examined frame by fans across multiple platforms. Some believe the detail is connected to a brief exchange between Kim Taehyung and Jungkook, a moment so quick that most people inside the stadium likely missed it entirely. Others argue that the emotional reaction from the crowd was simply the result of everything building up throughout the night, the overwhelming atmosphere, the final concert energy, and the powerful connection between the members and the audience. But that explanation has not stopped fans from continuing to search for more clues. New theories continue appearing every hour. Some fans are comparing audience reactions from different sections of the stadium, while others are studying fan-recorded videos captured from outside the venue to piece together the exact timeline of what happened. What makes this mystery even more fascinating is that no official explanation has been given. Neither the members nor the event organizers have addressed the now famous moment directly, leaving fans to interpret it entirely on their own. And perhaps that is exactly why the Mexico D3 concert continues dominating conversations worldwide. It was never just about the music. It became a shared emotional experience, one filled with unforgettable performances, overwhelming energy, and a single unexplained moment that continues to unite millions of fans in discussion. Long after the lights went out and the crowds finally disappeared from the streets of Mexico, the emotion of that night still hasn't faded. For many fans, Mexico D3 was not simply another concert. It became a moment they believe they will remember forever.